Hello, good day. I hope everyone is doing all right. So today we are going to be exploring literal text, and then in particular, we are going to be having the theme of life choices. So when we are talking of life choices, these are the things we have to deal with or to partake in as time goes by in our lives. So as I'm addressing your teachers, this is the overview of the day, what we're going to talk about, how we're going to talk about. Yeah, so I welcome you all to this event. So when we're talking of literal texts exploring generic elements, that's what we're going to be talking about. And then examples, we're going to give an example of a poem or an advertisement or advertisement. I don't know which one it is. Advertisement. Exploring it, genre-based cognitive applications. We're going to be utilizing the CAPS document, CLT, communicative language teaching, and text-based overview on effective genre teaching, appropriateness of text, the theme chosen, outlining the generic elements. We're going to be talking about that. How genre text trigger prior knowledge. We should be able to delve into that. And the variance in cognitive level. Cognitive level, here we should be discussing about how does it help us to develop our thinking processes. Okay, so I think it is appropriate. I think it is appropriate to understand who is who. When we're talking issues like who's who, we are attending to such situation as we're going to talk about a genre, but what do we actually mean when we say genre? Yeah. At first, when I heard this term, genre, it didn't really make sense. I thought maybe they wanted to say gender, but that was far from gender. So genre. So who's who? What is genre? So genre means to classify, to group into. We're talking about the type, the kind of whatever, um, can I say, reading, text, or type, the poetry, drama, prose, kind, crime, politics. See, when you're talking of genre, let me bring it home. You know, when you watch movies, I know for sure I am action kind of guy. I like action movies. That is my genre. Action. There's comedy, there's romance, there's horror movies, the worst. I hate them. They just scare me. And then, so when we understand genre, we understand that it is to classify, to group into. And here we're going to be talking about text-based, how we group this text as our genre. So genre is communication with the end goal, communication with an end goal. Meaning, if we're saying, okay, uh, let's read action books. The end goal is to see some action in there. When you say our genre is romance, pardon me for that. It's romantic movies or romantic books. There should be some bit, of some romance. So the genre is communication with the end goal. And then now we're going to talk about, when we talk about gender-based activity, like now, the one we're discussing now with you, the teachers, the importance of exploring the social and cultural context of language. Yeah, I think if we can learn that, it is important to explore the social and cultural context of language. That is what's on. It is also exploring spoken or written communication on a piece of writing. A genre can be spoken or written, you can actually watch it. So here we're going to be focusing on the written genres. So when I say written genres, we're going to be talking about literary text in exploring generic elements. God. We're going to be talking about literary text in exploring generic elements. Okay, so when we're talking of literary text, we're talking of specifically we're going to be dealing with a poem and an advertisement in this section. So literary text, they develop the ability, we're going to develop the ability to evaluate texts. See, that's why we have a literary text. So a text-based approach explores how texts should work. Not a test, pardon the pronunciation or the accent, it's a text. Yeah, text. Yeah, so the text-based approach explores how texts work. You see, the purpose, the whole purpose is for the learner to become confident and to become a critical reader, as well as to become critical readers and writers. It involves listening to, reading, viewing, analyzing text to understand how they are produced and what their effects are. You see, when we understand how texts are produced and what their effects are, that is really a profound thing. Why and how texts are produced, and to know that there's always an effect. Hence, I think as we go further, we're going to understand the effects of text. So through critical interactions, the interaction with the text, through critical interaction with the text, the learner now starts to develop, they evaluate the text. When we're talking of evaluation, now we're going back to Bloom's taxonomy. You say, evaluate, that should be a high order question. Evaluate. Low order question will be, oh, list what you have read in the text. But now we'll also talk about evaluating the text. So the text-based approach involves producing kinds of text for particular purpose and audiences. So now it involves the study of text, how texts are structured. And then ways of reading. No, this is not mathematics. When we're exploring text, this is not mathematics. There's no single answer to a solution. No single way of reading and understanding a text. Meanings in text are open to multiple interpretations. And you see, if you can give a student the chance to say, interpret it the way you understand, automatically that boosts that person's confidence. Even the way they gonna behave and interpret it, they know that they're at liberty to apply their own minds to it without anyone saying you're gonna be wrong or you're gonna be right. And then it also encourages the students to connect the text with other texts which they've read. So first group text by type, they group the text by type and connect. However, this is not a fixed process. When we're talking of grouping texts by type, maybe you've read an action movie or you read action book, you cannot read an action movie. If you've read an action book and a romantic book, there are certain aspects which you might connect. Oh, this one connects to this. But as we go further, we're going to be discussing that. Yeah, we did meaning text and multiple interpretations. We did discuss that. Yeah, and then let's go to the next one. Pardon my computer. Sometimes it's freezing. I don't know why it's doing that though. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Okay. I hope it's not recording because it's not showing me that it's recording. If it's recording, pardon me. Okay. Is it recording? I don't know. Let me check. I don't know. Maybe it's recording, maybe it's not, but should be sure. But it's not moving the time. What can I do? So definitely I'm not going to repeat this text-based thing. Last time there was just a miscommunication with this laptop. So we're going to proceed now and then just get it on over and done with. So when we're talking about what? The theme. The theme is the human nature, decision making. So as I said before, we're going to look at a poem an advertisement, which talks about human nature. In this poem, we're going to be looking at such things like the theme. What is the theme? You see, when we are now delving deeper into this, it is actually broadening the mind of the learner, taking it on a journey, thinking about the setting. Where does this thing occur? Their point of view, not the teacher's point of view, their point of view, the tone which they are using, which is being used, and the language usage. Just going to be a bit faster here because we're going to take some time and dwell on the poem. So the chosen poem which we're going to do is The Road Not Taken. Yeah, it's an interesting one by Robert Frost. So The Road Not Taken above is a poem about challenge, making decisions in life, and especially about those big decisions that forces us to make a choice between two equally appealing options that are nonetheless diverging, unpredictable path. In a way, the poem explores the responsibilities we all take in making our own choices. The poem speaker describes one such choice in the opening stanza. So there's the poem. So what does it say? It says, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though, as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden back. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to a way, I doubted I should ever come back. Okay, I shall not be going a bit further on it, but as you can see, I shall be telling this with a smile. We're going to explore this further. As you can see, this poem, The Road Not Taken, as I said, the theme is about choices. So it's actually revealing the student, the learner, about a choice to make, about a choice to make. And then as the time goes by, in studying this poem, now we're going to encourage the students to learn something, to examine it. What's the theme? What is the setting? The theme, the setting of this thing. So questions like we're going to explore the road not taken. Such things, they help to broaden the way they think. So we see in the first stanza there it says there were two roads which diverged. We can see those roads on the bottom picture there. I can see the one further there. I look. And then two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Well, this one is not a yellow one, it's a green one on my picture on the bottom left. But let's use our imagination. Let's say it's yellow. That's the whole point of a poem to the students as well. They use their imaginations. Now they picture a yellow wood. What is that doing? It's forming, it's making a construct in their minds. And now they're interested. And sorry, I could not travel both, which is a reality, they could not travel both. Now, I'm sure in the mental process, they're now thinking, if I could not travel both, then which one would I choose? And be one traveler long I stood, and look down one as far as I could to where it bent. You see. So, as stated prior, the beauty of poem is there's no fixed meaning. That is the beauty. Learners are prompted to read and discuss their understanding. Not the understanding of what is required by the teacher, the understanding of how they understand the poem. So it is important to allow children, teachers, to allow learners to understand things for themselves and to know that there's no wrong or right answer. So when we're asking about questions like analysis, when we're saying now we're analyzing, now this is a low order question. This is a low order question. Bloom's taxonomy again. Low order question. We need to analyze the poem. It's not enough just to read it. We need analyzing, talks about the meaning, attribution. Understand? So prompting. When we are saying analyzing, we are prompting the learner to think. Yeah? Think about that. We're prompting them to think. How are things interconnected? How's the yellow wood, the path, the man? How's it all connected? And then as we are prompting them to think, we're provoking their what? Their thought processes. And then now they start to attribute meaning. And then they find out the mood of the poem. What was the mood of the poem? The way they're analyzing it. So questions like this, analyzing, it's a deepening. It's actually forcing them. I saw one of the slides which we're doing on the school. It says a good teacher forces the student to learn. Yeah, forcing them to learn. Integrating information. How can I integrate all this information? And then after that, a higher order question will talk about evaluating. And then as you can see there, the guy at the bottom right, he says, there's a problem with the nut. See, look at the nut. It's a nut which is grown. And then now, because of the plumber, brings a what? A tool, because he wants to tighten the nut. It was really funny. Evaluating, did not evaluate the problem properly. So when we're talking about evaluating, for example, I shall be telling you what is written there, the other stanza for the road. I shall be telling you this with a sigh. Some were edges and edges, and two roads diverged in the wood. And I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The theme of the what? Okay. We'll move a bit further. And then, so one thing, let me go back to the previous slide. It's refusing. Okay, nonetheless, as we have said on the previous slide, you see, the theme I said is what? Choices. They have to understand that at this age, grade 8 and 9s, seems like a difficult poem, but it's not so difficult. Everyone has to make a choice at some point. Everyone. And then they have to understand that sometimes you have to make a difficult choice. One choice, it's enough. And then, now there's an advertisement. Think differently. And then, as you can see, this theme is still giving us this advertisement, still giving us the same theme of choices. It's probing the learner to think differently. And why are these levels are so important of asking? To deepen the understanding, to broaden the mind. That's why they're important. As we are exploring these generic elements. So, two roads diverging to the wood and thinking differently, you understand? Two roads diverging to the wood, and now we bring an advertisement, it says think differently. Now, remember we spoke about interconnecting. Now it's connecting. Okay, two roads they diverged. Now there's another one says think differently. How can I connect the two? Advertisement plus the poem. Still leading to the same way. Choices, but they need to be connected. Okay, I have to think differently and choose one. As they are growing into adulthood, they have to make choices. And now we are teaching them at this age to say, sometimes you have to make difficult choices. Just one choice. They have to choose the subjects of their choices at school. They have to choose a career. They have to choose a life partner. But it requires them what? To be able to think differently. Well, think differently might probe the learners to say, okay, think differently, they're talking about an Apple product. So the counterpart should be a Samsung also. So it's also probing think differently. As we are about to reach our conclusion, this is the other extract of the poem, another stanza. Say, then took the other. just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though, as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. Think differently, there it is. And when the guy was thinking differently, imagine giving our students such things, whereby they explore the theme, the setting, the mood. They have to interconnect these things by asking them high order to low order to high order questions. Now we are channeling their brains to say, connect them, think. After that, not only are they going to be thinking about the poem only, they are going to be even thinking extensively about other things. So, salutations. There we go. To you, I hope we have really managed to learn something. Hopefully, we did not exceed the time. Thank you.